Most people assume that speaking a second language is a simple mental swap, taking an English word, running it through a dictionary in your head, and producing a Spanish one, while the core personality remains static. Multilingual individuals experience a much more complex reality. They report that their humor, baseline confidence, and emotional tone shift naturally depending on which language they are currently using. Curious. This raises a question about the nature of the self. Are these individuals consciously performing different personas, or is a deeper transformation occurring within the brain? Modern psychology shows that multilingualism functions as a biological overhaul of the brain's hardware, physically rewiring neural pathways to accommodate new ways of existing. To understand this transformation, we must map the new architecture of the multilingual mind across 3 specific domains: perception, processing, and expression. Before a multilingual brain processes a single sentence, it adapts how it observes the world. This sensory shift is a necessity, allowing the brain to maintain communication even when it lacks specific words. When vocabulary fails, the brain compensates by developing micro-detail awareness, which relies heavily on nonverbal communication. The mind begins unconsciously scanning the environment for microexpressions, subtle posture shifts, and minute changes in vocal tone to fill in the gaps left by language. This heightened social reading operates as a trained survival skill, allowing the multilingual brain to detect hidden tension faster than a monolingual peer. Because every language encodes a specific cultural worldview, the brain eventually develops multi-lens perception, intaking environmental data through several cultural filters simultaneously. The multilingual brain decodes the hidden cultural and emotional subtext of its environment, seeing details that others often miss entirely. Once that data is gathered, the brain's internal engine must manage the heavy cognitive load of processing multiple linguistic rule sets at once. Constantly juggling grammar, accents, and cultural expectations creates significant cognitive friction. This provides a relentless workout for the brain's executive control, the system responsible for managing focus and switching between complex tasks. This mental heavy lifting builds endurance, training the individual to remain calm under pressure and handle fast-changing situations with high efficiency. To optimize this process, the brain uses concept-based thinking. Instead of being trapped within one language, it isolates a pure, languageless concept first. The brain then reaches into its mental toolbox, selecting whichever structure expresses that concept best, resulting in sharper problem-solving and creativity. This processing engine also creates layered memory, where specific life phases and emotions are physically tied to the language used at the time. Multilingualism allows multiple memory systems and conceptual frameworks to operate simultaneously, shattering the limits of singular thought. This unique sensory input and processing power inevitably results in a different kind of social output. This explains the phenomenon of contextual identity shifting, which is the psychological tendency for a person's personality and behavior to change based on the cultural and linguistic environment they are in. This shift is an automatic adaptation to the distinct cultural norms and emotional expectations permanently encoded into each specific language. By switching emotional frameworks along with their words, multilingual people develop the ability to empathize deeply across diverse cultures. These individuals aren't pretending to be someone else. Their brains are precisely calibrating their communication to match the current cultural context. The multilingual mind functions as an advanced evolutionary adaptation, generating a layered cognitive architecture through years of constant linguistic negotiation. This architectural layering provides a form of psychological defense. By processing reality through multiple cultural lenses, the brain recognizes that any single narrative is just one perspective, making the individual harder to manipulate and more open-minded. Multilinguals operate with the inherent understanding that their worldview represents one specific perspective among a vast sea of others, rather than an objective universal truth. Ultimately, learning a language translates entire human experiences, emotions, and realities into a new framework. If you speak more than one language, share a concept or emotion in the comments that you can express perfectly in one language, but that has no direct translation in another.